Hello, Pokemon lovers, and welcome to a brand new episode of Rating All Pokemon, and it's finally time to start on our Sinnoh journey, I guess. I did a Twitter poll just to figure out who is whose favorite starter, and it was pretty evident. And at the beginning, Piplup was like the highest of the highest, like it was winning with such a big difference. But right now, Piplup is the winner, but Turtwig comes pretty close. Not a lot of people seem to like Chimchar. My favorite is, if I'd have to choose, because these are not my favorite. These are not my favorite starters. I think Turtwig, because I think it's cool. Story-wise, I guess. So yeah, that is who I'd pick. But anyway, it doesn't matter, because we are starting out with all the starters and their evolutions of the Sinnoh region. Let's go. First of all, we have a new Pokédex. Bloop. There it is. New Pokédex. Fun, great times. It is the Sinnoh Pokédex. My friend Foof made it. Doesn't it look cool? Yes, it does. Let's put a Pokemon in there, shall we? It's Turtwig. Turtwig is the grass starter, as you can tell. Turtwig is very, very adorable. It is a Pokemon whose shell is made out of soil. Now, the more moist the soil is, the more healthy the Pokemon. So, if you have a moist Turtwig, that's gross. Turtwig also has this tiny little seed on top of its head, and this little leaf twig. This leaf twig will wilt if it's thirsty, so make sure you have a healthy Turtwig by feeding it water regularly. Now, since Turtwig is a plant-based Pokemon, it lives mostly on photosynthesis. It's such a weird word to say in English. Photosynthesis. That's what it lives on. So it isn't only a Pokemon who can fight your battles for you, it also gives us fresh air. Good job. A bit of a weird thing, to me at least, about Turtwig is that its soil is moist when it's healthy, but when it drinks water, the soil will become harder. Now, what is it? Does it need water or does it need nothing? Turtwig is based on a snapping turtle and a plant. Its name comes from turtle and twig, and its French name is Tortipousse, which I think is adorable, even though it just literally means Turtwig. Tortipousse. 5 out of 5. Next up is number 388, Grotle. I don't know how to say that Pokemon's name. It's a very weird name. Grotle. This Pokemon has the sense to feel where water wells up, and it will bring Pokemon to this water source on its little shell, which I think is the cutest thing ever. It also has 2 bushes on its back that it can grow berries on. Weirdly enough, in the anime, it grows like acorn nuts, but it should be growing berries, which attract certain Pokemon, and it's like a little ecosystem on the back of it, and I think that is super cool. Now, Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver says, a Grotle that lives in the forest is said to have its own secret spring water. I don't know why it brings Pokemon to water places when it has its own spring water, but you know what? Who am I to doubt its intentions? Grotle is also based on the snapping turtle, but it's also probably based on the world turtle, which is a turtle from mythology that carries the world on its back. Love that. I give Grotle a 4 out of 5 because I'm just never a really big fan of the second evolution of starters. I don't know. It's alright. It's cute, but it gets better. Next up is Earth Badass Torterra. Now, Torterra is a huge-ass turtle that doesn't really like moving, but it has pretty much an ecosystem on its back. One side is mountains, the other side is a tree, and Pokemon live on top of its shell. Now, this is cool, but it gets better. Some Pokemon are born on top of the shell of a Torterra and never ever leave that shell. It's like their personal Earth, which Blows my mind. Torterra only move around in search of water, which makes it a moving forest, but most of the time Torterra just don't really enjoy moving. They're just chilling, sitting around, being chill. Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver are great on these Pokemon for some weird reason. It says, ancient people imagined that beneath the ground a gigantic Torterra dwelled. This relates to the fact that it's based on the world turtle, which, like I mentioned before, is a turtle that carries the world on its back. I've seen a lot of like statues around the world of these turtles, and I think it's such a dope myth that I'm just down. I wish it was true. I wish we lived on a giant turtle. That would be so cool. It also may be based on the Ankylosaur, which is an armed type of dinosaur. It looked like a turtle, pretty much. Torterra's name comes from tortoise and terra, which is Latin for ground, and I think it's very nicely thought of by whoever made it. I think it's just very cool. Yes, cool. 5 out of 5. Next up is number 390, Chimchar. Now, Chimchar is a tiny fire monkey. Now, I have some very interesting facts about Chimchar. First of all, it has a flame on its behind, which comes to exist because of belly gases. Chimchar is a fart monkey. It farts literally all the time, except when it sleeps, which is when its flame goes out to make sure that nothing around it will burst into flames. It's a fart monkey. Now, Chimchar lives on rocky mountains, and it's very agile. It can jump around the mountains and be a monkey, basically. Now, Chimchar is based on a chimpanzee, because Chimchar, but the way it actually looks a little bit more like a young baboon, so it's a bit of a combination of two types of monkeys. Like I said, its name comes from chimpanzee and charcoal. Also, its Mandarin Chinese name, which I won't even try to pronounce, literally means little flame monkey, and I think that's adorable. 4 out of 5. At level 14, Chimchar evolves into Monferno, which is another fire monkey. It doesn't change that much, it just grows a longer tail, so I think it stopped farting. Monferno's flamey tail has several purposes. It can make itself longer so that the Monferno appears bigger. It also can keep opponents on a distance, and the size of its flame in combination with its facial markings show the position of the Monferno in the Monferno pack. Cool. The line turns into a fire fighting line, which is not very special when it comes to starter Pokemon. Monferno may be based on the golden snub-nosed monkey or a mandrill, whichever you prefer. No, it's both. Mandrill is like a baboonish type monkey. And its typing and the way it looks are also directly based on monkey kung fu, which is a type of kung fu where they use both their arms and legs, and it's very monkey-like. Apparently, I think that's why it's called that. I don't know anything about kung fu. Also too lazy to learn. Monkeys. Monferno's name comes from, as implied, Monkey and Inferno, and I also give this guy a 4 out of 5. Yeah, 4 out of 5, yeah. Now, the last one in this evolution line is Infernape. Now, Infernape is, I have to admit, pretty badass. It has armor. It looks like a fucking, like, emperor of the Chinese kingdom fighter dude. It's not a good description, but I don't care. Now, Monferno is a very quick Pokemon. It uses a special type of martial arts with both its hands and legs. Is it monkey kung fu? Maybe. It's very cool. The way Infernape looks and the colors and the fact that it's a monkey is most likely based on Son Goku, which is the Japanese interpretation of Sun Wukong. Now, Sun Wukong is the main character in the Chinese story Journey to the West, and it's a monkey with powerful abilities, which I think is very cool. They went into some deep-ass lore for these starters, and I didn't even know that, and now I appreciate them more. So I give it a 5 out of 5. Aren't you proud? The last starter of the 3 is tiny little penguin Piplup. Now, Piplup is completely adorable. I think it's very cute. I think I always chose it on my Sinnoh journeys. Currently, I'm replaying it and I'm using Turtwig, but you know, you always go for the water one, and I think penguins are okay, but I'm terrified of birds. So it's like, What do you choose? I chose Piplup because I thought it was cute. Now, Piplup is a penguin that has a strong sense of pride, and it has a hard time accepting food from humans, and because it has really tiny legs, it falls down a lot while walking. It's a very bad walker. But you know what? It will stand the fuck back up, puff out its chest, and keep walking, because it doesn't care about your opinion. It cares about its pride. Even though Piplup can't really walk, it's a very good swimmer. It can stay underwater for 10 minutes. Very cool. And this entire line looks like it's wearing some type of adorable little suit. And can I just say, I love that. Piplup is based on a young penguin, and the markings it has above its beak may refer to the emperor penguin, which is the coolest of all penguins. It's very big and very cool. Now, Piplup's name comes from plop, which is the sound of like a rock hitting the water. I think that is just so dumb. But it gets better. It also comes from pip, which is the baby stage of a bird right before it hatches from its egg. Now, the French name is Tiplouf. I just can't. This is such a weird name. It comes from petit, as in tiny, and plouf, which is the sound a rock makes when it hits the water. Fucking weird. 5 out of 5 for that. That's stupid. Next up, it evolves into Prinplup, which is also a penguin. God. Sorry guys, I've been recording for a very long time and I'm like losing my brain. My brain is not working anymore. Oh my god. Prinplup has very, very powerful wings that it can use to knock over and snap trees, which doesn't seem very useful in the North Pole. But, you know, South Pole? Where do penguins live? I don't know, I don't remember. It's Pokemon, there's no South Pole. Now, Prinplup also has a very, very strong sense of self-pride, which means it's a bit of an Einzelgänger. It doesn't actually like to form its own groups, it just chills on its own. And it can be found in icy waters. There are no trees in icy waters. I'm just saying. Pokemon Diamond says, it lives alone, away from others. Apparently, every one of them believes it's the most important. Don't be that guy. Now, Piplup is based on a penguin. Yeah, I know. It's because it has weird things on its head. It's probably based on a crowned penguin, but I think I'm gonna stay with Emperor Penguin because of the way it looks. It looks regal, and that's where its name comes from. It comes from Prince and Plup, which is the sound rocks make when they hit the water. 4 out of 5. And the last one of these guys is badass ice and water type Empoleon. Now the name says it is based pretty much on Napoleon. Look at the way it looks, it's so cool. Now Empoleon has very, very powerful and sharp wings. It can cut through ice, it can cut through Pokemon, most likely. Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver says it avoids unnecessary disputes, but it will decimate anything that threatens its pride. Oh shit. Now, Empoleon is based on the Emperor Penguin, as I mentioned, and its beak horns are the shape of a trident, which is, you know, the thing that Poseidon used to be cool. Its name comes from Emperor and Napoleon, which is the French emperor guy, but the French had to be French and made up their own name, Pingoleon, which they could just kept Empoleon. It sounds literally just as French. 5 out of 5. That was it for the first episode of the Sinnoh region. I hope you had a really good time. I sure did. I was surprised at how much I actually ended up liking these starter Pokemon. So, cool. I just want to know, who is your favorite monkey? Is it Infernape or Passimian? Yeah, you figured that one out, because Passimian is cool. I'll see you again next week with a new episode of Rating All Pokemon. My name is Hilda, and you already knew that. This is not the Dex News. Fuck. Hello. I mean bye. Bye.